Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Towerlight's podcast slash radio show slash.
Now it's video.
Now it's video.
So now you can see who we are.
We're doing a little bit of everything now. Unfortunately, our arrangement with XTSR had to end last semester, but now we're bringing it in-house so we can bring you video now, and we're also going to bring you the audio online if you prefer not to look at our faces, I guess. If so, my feelings are hurt, but
you do prefer.
Yeah, you probably want to. I'm usually joined with Matt Hamilton and Jesse Jones, and I am once again today. The lineup might change throughout the semester as we have different commitments come up and whatnot, but hopefully I'll keep these two by my side for the rest of the semester.
Go ahead. You're the head here.
I'm Jesse Jones, sports editor.
And I'm Matt Hamilton, the associate sports editor.
We're going to preview the Super Bowl. Obviously, there's nobody else is talking about anything else this week, so I guess why should we? What is the NBA? I don't even know.
Besides Kevin Durant.
Only Richard Sherman all the time. So I guess first off, do you guys just want to talk about the game, and we can just make our predictions, and I guess we'll just kind of go from there, see where our banter kind of takes us.
I'll say one thing first. It's in New Jersey, not New York. And I watched Richard Sherman on Media Day right before I got here. He said New Jersey was a nice city.
Oh. Sorry to all the New Jersey residents of the 10,000.
I also saw that Munshaw Lynch just signed an exclusive contract with Skittles. So the Skittles are going to come out with the Seattle Seahawks brand of Skittles now. I'm guessing they're going to be Seattle Seahawks colors. But what you make seafoam green, like how you even make that a flavor, is just beyond me. I guess like lime.
They can keep the lime flavor, but I guess the blue would
I've always
be
wanted
like
to know what Seattle tastes like.
coffee and hipsters.
Coffee and rain.
This one just tastes like water.
Very watered down coffee.
Oh dear, we got a little off track there. But I do agree with Jesse that for some reason, whenever I watch ESPN or Fox Sports 1, they keep saying New York because it's just not New York. I mean, I haven't been to New York very many times, but I know it's not New Jersey. So, shout out to former senior editor Megan Flannery. It's essentially like 30 minutes away from her, and she just has no inclination to go to the game, which I'm kind of disappointed about.
She's not a sports fan, so.
No.
And it costs thousands of dollars.
Well,
It does cost a lot of money.
I mean, come on. We get paid a lot to work here.
You could drive there. You could drive there and tailgate, and then just leave.
Yeah, that's true. So, what do you guys think about the game, and what are some of the things that maybe you're looking for, maybe some key matchups?
I honestly think it'll be one of the best Super Bowls that we've had in a long time. You know, you got the number one offense against the number one defense. Denver's defense is also extremely good. People aren't really giving their defense a whole lot of credit because they're without Chris Harris Jr. and Von Miller, but their defense is still really good. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, I'm not the biggest fan, but that's just a personal vendetta because, you know, he let San Antonio Holmes go off in the playoffs in that Super Bowl game.
Did you hear that he's going to retire if they win?
Yeah.
A lot of things happen if they were winning. It was another. Adams, I think was his name. It was a Denver Bronco, and he said if they win the Super Bowl, he's going to walk back to his hometown in New Jersey from the stadium.
All right.
So keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, so if you're on the turnpike, look out for whoever that guy is. But yeah, I think it'll be really good matchups. I really like I like Seattle a lot. We'll get to the picks later, but I think Percy Harvin being back will be a really special element with them. And then I don't know how much Denver has gone up against running quarterbacks. Now, not to say Russell Wilson's just a runner, but he can. He's very smart when he extends the pocket in the play.
Yeah.
He's smart with it. He doesn't really turn the ball over that much. He doesn't look to run. He'll extend the pocket, but then he can run against you. So
Yeah.
I kind of like those matchups.
I think something else that's interesting is going to be the two offensive lines, because Denver's offensive line has been one of the best in the league, and Seattle, I didn't think going into the year that anyone with a mediocre. That's mediocre. No, with a subpar offensive line could really make it as far as Seattle has. But frankly, their offensive line has just been performing poorly this whole season and into the playoffs. They've allowed 44 sacks, which is one of the highest in the league. And they actually look better because they have Wilson and Munshaw Lynch. Because like you said, Jesse, Wilson can extend the pocket, he can run, and he can take off, which probably cut down on the number of sacks that he would have otherwise. And we all know what Munshaw Lynch can do with the ball in his hands. He can break tackles. And I just think that Seattle's offensive line, people know that it's bad, but they haven't really seen it in action being ineffective because of the skill sets that Wilson and Lynch have.
Yeah, it always helps to have Marshawn Lynch. Probably, I don't know if he's the best running back, but he's definitely top 3 running backs in the league. It always helps to have him and then a quarterback like Russell Wilson who can extend the play. You never know what he's going to do from play to play. So Seattle's got that element. Denver doesn't necessarily have that element. You know Peyton Manning is their go-to guy. He's going to throw it. They have no Sean. They have Monty Ball. But really the focal point of their offense is Peyton Manning. The Seahawks, I guess you would lean towards Marshawn Lynch for the focal point of their offense. But Russell Wilson is perfectly capable of doing great things.
Oh, he's more than capable, but it's Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I think Lynch is going to be the key to the offense on Sunday. Like, if he has like a 150-yard game, I think it's going to be tough for Denver to beat that because obviously that means they're controlling the clock, and it means that they're getting overpowered on the line of scrimmage. And if Denver's defense can't hold up against, like I said, with what is essentially a subpar offensive line, then I think that's kind of going to be a sign that the game just isn't going in Denver's favor. And I think that if Lynch is able to, we've seen it before where he breaks off like a 50-yard touchdown run, just takes the wind out of the other team. It's the way that he runs makes the other team sideline deflated, and he didn't even hit him. He hit the defense.
Another key matchup is going to be Denver's receivers against Seattle's secondary, because Seattle's secondary hasn't gone up against receivers as tall as Denver's receivers. Most of them, you got Eric Decker, Demaryius Thomas, Julius Thomas, they're all over like 6'2". And a lot of the guys in the Seattle secondary, they're fantastic players, but they're around like 5'9" to 5'11", so height could be a difference in the passing game.
I know a lot of people are talking about Seattle secondary, but I think there's something that Denver can do to kind of counteract that and to take Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman out of the equation is to do some of the pick plays that you saw that I know a lot of people gave Wes Welker some crap for what he did to Aqib Talib, and that specific play aside, all season, Denver has been running those kind of pick plays.
Oh, absolutely.
And they also are capable of running shorter screen passes and shorter like slant plays, crossing routes out in the middle of the field where Peyton Manning isn't chucking it 30 yards down the field. He's only actually throwing it 4 or 5 yards, but Julius Thomas, Wes Welker, Demaryius Thomas, even Eric Decker can turn those into big plays. And I think that's going to be a key way for Denver to kind of take Seattle secondary out of the game, or you can't necessarily just like remove them from the game, obviously, because they're so good that it's impossible just to make sure they don't have any sort of an impact on the game. But I think that running plays like that would really make them not as well seen.
Also, I'll let you talk. Sorry. After this, but Denver's running game has been performing really well towards the end of the season in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Especially no Sean Moreno. He's been playing really well. Monty Ball's been playing exceptionally when he gets in the game, so that can also take, you don't have to worry about going to secondary really unless you're getting like 8-yard runs.
Yeah.
So they're just going for the tackle instead of having to worry about them picking the ball off or completely just shutting down your receivers.
Yeah, I think an interesting part of Denver's offense, obviously they have great wide receivers. They have Demaryius Thomas, they have Wes Welker, Julius Thomas. But it's going to be tough for them to go over top of Seattle's defense. I mean, Richard Sherman said, if you throw, what was this quote? If you throw a fade on the last play, give us the T-shirts already or something in his rant. But
If you try the best.
Yeah.
Just if you try the best.
You think I'm going to let him catch a game-winning touchdown? Is that a joke?
Yeah, with that being said, it's going to be tough to get over top of them. So I think two keys. Demaryius Thomas, I think, I don't know. I don't think he'll have his biggest game. I think they'll have tabs on him for most of the game. But two players, Julius Thomas and Wes Welker, I think they'll be able to go up the middle, maybe catch one on the sidelines like San Francisco did when they were moving up the field at the end of the NFC Championship game. So I think those two are going to be really key for Peyton Manning. He's going to be looking for them, say if over top doesn't work or he needs to find someone at the end of a play. So I think Wes Welker and Julius Thomas will be big.
One thing we haven't talked about yet is the weather.
I was actually just about to bring that up.
And it's not going to snow, which
Allegedly.
makes me extremely angry.
I know.
I was hoping for a blizzard because I think the cold Super Bowl is ridiculous and a terrible idea. And I wanted something to backfire on Roger Goodell. But apparently it's not going to. It's just going to be really
Who doesn't want something to backfire on Roger Goodell, though?
It's going to be really frigid. And, I mean, there's chance for high winds. But honestly, I think that's being overplayed, saying, oh, that only helps Seattle. It's going to hurt both teams no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, Seattle doesn't throw the ball downfield as much. But Denver, they've had winds there. Like, Peyton Manning has played in the wind before.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, I think people are overblowing the Peyton Manning is bad in cold weather thing because he's played in Denver for 2 seasons now. Not exactly warm in Denver. And I understand that, like, for the majority of his career, he was in Indianapolis in a dome. But at the same time, like, he's had experience. And I know there was his record in playoff games below 40 degrees is 0-4. Obviously, you can't dispute that. But at the same time, there are always other factors playing into games besides the weather. And I just think that it's unfair to say, like, oh, the Broncos are going to win this game just because of the weather. I think that if you were to make a Seahawks pick, you can use that as an argument, but at the same time, it's not going to be the only reason why. If the Seahawks win this game, it's going to be because Marshawn Lynch has a big game, and the defense is able to shut down Manning, and Manning doesn't go off for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's been something they've been doing all postseason. For some reason, people, the media, are trying to almost take. Yeah, well, we're not doing this much, but like they're almost trying to take down Peyton Manning's legacy for some reason. Like, if he doesn't win this Super Bowl, he can't be the greatest. He won't be up there with the greatest, or he doesn't win in cold weather, and he's just going along proving all the people wrong. But the weather. Even if it did rain, I don't think it would change the game that much. If I had to pick one, I think it would favor Seattle just because Marshawn Lynch over Noshawn. But, I mean, Noshawn's great too. But it's just, it comes back to, like, they have to find something that makes Peyton Manning seem vulnerable. And
make him go out of the pocket.
Yeah. There you go.
Seattle has the defensive line that can absolutely do that.
Yeah. And they've done really well against running quarterbacks. Cam Newton, Kaepernick, was it 3 times they beat the 49ers this year?
Twice.
Was it twice? Yeah, the 49ers won the one. But, yeah, I think Seattle's defense will do a good job against Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning's, I mean, he's Peyton Manning. He'll get his passes in, and I think it'll all depend on how many he can get over the top of Seattle's defense, which will be a tough thing for him to do.
Yeah.
Also, going back to the win one last time, for those who say windy Seattle, Russell Wilson, he drops dimes, beautiful, beautiful passes, but he's not throwing it with
Trent Dilfer?
Yes, Dilfer dimes. But he's not throwing it with a high velocity.
Hashtag windy dime.
He's not throwing it with a high velocity.
Yeah.
He kind of does like little touch passes, and he'll throw them far, but they're not bullet passes.
They're not Brett Favre.
So if there's a high wind gust and he tries to throw it deep in one of the little touch passes, very good chance it can go this way a few yards off.
Yeah, and I think there's something else that people aren't really talking about enough is Percy Harvin. I know that, like...
I'm going to get to that.
I know that, like, he'll probably won't finish the game, but let's just assume that he plays the first half, and he plays 14 snaps in the first half. Those 14 snaps, the Denver defense is going to have to focus on him.
They have no idea what's coming because he's played in, 2 games all year?
Yeah, you can't just say,
for a total, maybe 3 quarters.
You can't just say, no, we're probably just not going to put Champ Bailey on him. Like, if you just ignore him, he will get open and he will make plays in the open field. So they're going to have to focus on him, which I know, like, Doug Baldwin or Golden Tate, like, they're not very intimidating receivers, but...
DRC, I don't like you, but please lay Golden Tate out. Please.
If you just think that Harvin isn't going to be a big factor in this game, then you're just wrong. Like, obviously, if he plays, 3 snaps, then he's not going to be a big factor. But it seems like he's going to be healthy enough to at least start the game. And sure, if he takes a big hit from somebody and then leaves, then obviously that removes him from the game. And you never really know about his health because it's been questionable his entire career. But for the snaps that he's out there, it gives Seattle an X factor.
Oh, yeah, it sure does. I mean, even the game that he was playing, it was the Saints game, right? The one that he played first half, I think it was. Even in that game, he was a threat. He caught, I think, maybe 2 passes before he got laid out and then had another concussion. He's just a person that you have to pay attention to when he's on the field. He's so elusive. You may look away from him and he's gone and he's open and he's fast enough where he can blow them open. He can return kickoffs. I don't know if he's going to in the Super Bowl.
I'm not sure.
But he has that ability too. He's just an X factor, someone that Seattle didn't even have, and they were still one of the most dominant teams in the league. So it'll be interesting to see how they use him because Denver obviously won't know how they're going to use him because they've only done it twice.
If I was the Seahawks, I don't know if I would send him back on kick or punt returns. I would just be afraid that the Broncos would see him there and then purposely just send somebody down the line at 50 miles an hour with the purpose of just hitting him as hard as possible.
That's why you got your blockers.
Yeah, but I just think that opens him up more to bigger hits than being a receiver does. But at the same time, you are just trying to win. You're trying to take this game as a single game and not looking at the perspective of the season.
It's what from, I guess, free agency to
Yeah.
now is
So, I mean, I guess if you're thinking
This is
about
the
it that
game.
way, that you're just trying to win one game, then you could also make the argument for putting him in on kick and punt returns.
They brought him in hoping that he'd propel him to the Super Bowl, which why he didn't propel him to the Super Bowl, but now they're in the Super Bowl, so
Yeah.
propel him to the win. This is what they brought him here for.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see how that all works out. The other thing that I did want to touch on is Julius Thomas as just a factor in the game in general. Because Seattle doesn't really have a great tight end. They have Zach Miller as their tight end, who, I mean, is like a tight end.
He lets me down in Madden over and over and over again.
Like, he's certainly not bad, but he's also not to the Julius Thomas level. So do you guys think it would be better for Seattle to maybe take, because in the championship game, Cam Chancellor essentially just turned Vernon Davis into like a pile of dust. And he just like disappeared. I think he had one catch for like 6 yards or something like that. So do you think that it might be more effective for the Seahawks to focus on taking Thomas out of the game, or are they better off focusing their secondary needs on somebody like Demaryius Thomas or Wes Welker or Eric Decker? Or do you think that they might as well just see how the game folds and pick their poison with the Broncos' weapons one way or the other? Because even if Demaryius Thomas doesn't get it done, Eric Decker can.
Yeah, but you also got to remember that Seattle has very good linebackers, very athletic linebackers, so not all the time will they have to have Cam Chancellor on Julius Thomas. They can send a linebacker on him a few plays, a few good passing plays.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it'll work. You never know, but I think you got to try to cover all the. You can't.
Yeah.
Denver has too many offensive weapons, but Seattle has a lot of defensive weapons.
And if they focus on anyone in particular, say they focus on Julius Thomas, Peyton Manning is great, and he will find whoever.
We'll find Jacob Tammy.
Yeah, I mean, he literally will pick someone up off the bench and be like, you know what, just come in here and run a route, and then he'll find him. Peyton Manning's just a master at doing that. If you focus on one person, he'll just burn you with the other person. I've seen it far too many times with the Ravens, because he owned the Ravens for like 10 straight years. And
So sad.
I know, and he'll find his way. So if Seattle is going to focus on anyone, it's going to be tough, because he's just going to pick your poison.
Yeah.
Who do you want to throw to? So they're going to have to pay attention to everyone equally. If I had to pick someone, the only person I could think of is Demaryius Thomas, because he has that over the top ability.
So I think Richard Sherman can shut him down.
Yes.
One-on-one, I truly believe Richard
Yeah.
Sherman. Not
So
not
is
shut
Richard
him down,
Sherman.
not shut him down completely, but limit his role.
Well, the way that he plays is he pretty much covers the offensive right side of the field. He doesn't really do a man-to-man kind of thing. He just locks down one side of the field. But as we were saying before, this is one game and not the whole season, so they might decide to move Sherman onto Demaryius Thomas and just say,
And if he's the best, which I think he is, he should be able to do that.
yeah, that he should be able just to lock down Thomas, unless they're really concerned about Wes Welker burning them, and in which case you just keep him on that side and he covers Welker or Thomas or Decker. I guess, do you guys just want to get to predictions now about who you're going to think?
Are you ready for this?
Are you ready for this?
I'm not really sure.
Who's starting, Matt?
Well, you seem the most excited, so
Yeah.
I figured you'd want to start. Or do you want to end?
I kind of want to end.
Okay, all right, well, then we'll go from right to left here.
Okay.
Or left to right for you guys.
Well, I think that I'm going to go with the Broncos to win this game. Like I said before, I think that the offensive lines, not enough people were talking about it heading into this game, and I think it's going to make a big difference. I know that Denver doesn't have the best. They don't have the best defense, obviously. They lost Von Miller, which is huge. But at the same time, I just think that Seattle's offensive line has too many holes, and Wilson isn't going to have time to. I know he can make plays using his feet, get out of the pocket, and things like that. But I just think that their offensive line is going to break down on like 3 or 4 plays, and he's just not going to have anything to do, especially when you're playing against Peyton Manning. Unless Lynch has a huge game and they control the clock, Peyton Manning is going to get his 34 points or something like that. And I just think that Seattle's offensive line is going to break down on too many plays in the third and fourth quarter, where Wilson is standing in the pocket trying to get it down 50 yards down the field when he's trying to make those comeback drives, and he's going to get sacked instead of making the play. And I think that is what's going to make a difference. Like Jesse said, I think this is going to be one of the better Super Bowls we've seen in a really long time. I think these two teams are incredibly evenly matched, but
They won't need a power outage to make it entertaining.
when you're breaking down the two teams, I just think that Denver gets that edge because of the offensive lines, because of the pass rush that Denver can produce despite having average defense. I just think that Russell Wilson right now isn't equipped to make the big plays needed to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I mean, it's the best offense versus the best defense. You can't get any better than that. It's going to be It's going to be a very, very interesting game, and I would expect it to be close. I can't see anyone winning by more than maybe a touchdown, maybe 10 points. That's about it. But I'm just going to throw some stats in here because I looked them up before. Peyton Manning against good pass defenses is what I was looking at.
What do you qualify as good?
It was like top 12 or something.
Okay, top 12 defenses.
Against Tennessee, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns. Against the Colts, 386 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Against the Houston Texans, 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he doesn't seem like he has that big of a problem with the top pass defenses. I mean, obviously Seattle will be better than anything he's played, but I think he'll be successful. And then it'll come down to Denver's defense, who will shut down who first. And I think Denver's defense will be able to get to Seattle more than Seattle's defense will be able to stop Peyton Manning. So if I had to pick, I'm going with the Broncos 31-28. But if there's any type of precipitation, I'm going to change it to Seattle 28, Denver 24, because Marshawn Lynch is better than Sean Moreno. There you go.
Well, guys, I guess it's my turn. And when you try the best with some mediocre picks like you guys,
Oh, man.
you're going to get shut down.
I mean, to be fair, my punt, pass, and pick selections this year were just awful.
Yeah, they were.
And when you tried the best, it didn't work out so well for you. Now let me tell you why Seattle's going to win this game. Russell Wilson is a beast.
Have you seen his
I've been
hair?
on his bandwagon since NC State. I saw him play twice there at Maryland in person. So.
I am not on Russell Wilson's bandwagon for his hair. I saw him at Media Day. He's got like a Bruno Mars afro going on.
But it's kind of like
classy.
I
like it.
It literally looks like an Oompa Loompa. No offense. Literally looks like an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
I'll accept it, yeah.
I think Russell Wilson will make a few plays. Marshawn Lynch, he's going to have a solid game running. I think it's going to be extremely close, honestly. I think Peyton Manning is going to score. He's going to throw for 3 touchdowns. But I think that, I think Richard Sherman's going to have a big impact because he is the best. Just Richard Sherman is going to do something against Demaryius Thomas. He's going to do something really well. You got Percy Harvin coming back. He's going to make an X factor right there. Percy Harvin is going to make a big play on a jet sweep. They're going to throw a few jet sweeps out there, maybe some reverses. It's coming. They're going to send him back for kickoffs. He's going to run one back.
Whoa, bold prediction.
Yeah, Percy Harvin is going to do something big on a jet sweep, and he's going to run a kickoff back for a touchdown. And I think that Seattle's going to hold Denver to 2 field goals, so they have 27, and they're going to win 28-27 in a thrilling fashion.
Yeah, that sounds pretty thrilling. It does.
Also, a fun prop bet. If the Broncos do win, what are the amount of tears that No Sean Moreno sheds?
Well, it's
A
going to be
lot.
just like one.
It was like a waterfall.
Yeah, it's going to be
It
like
was
one
just-
giant, his eyelids are
It's
just
gonna
like,
freeze
fold
on his
back.
face though, so I'm not really sure how it's gonna work.
That would definitely be something.
I think Wilson's going to extend the play, make one good touchdown. Marshawn Lynch is going to have 2, and Percy Harvin with that run back.
There you go.
Another crazy scenario that could happen. Matt Prater. Just remember the name Matt Prater. Justin Tucker missed a 67-yarder in the Pro Bowl, but Matt Prater, I wouldn't be surprised to see him try something long, like 60, 61 yards. Even if it's windy, that might not make any sense.
Not if it's windy.
But Matt Prater will be a key factor in this game too. But yeah,
You guys have any predictions for MVP?
I mean,
Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin
if the
for
Broncos,
MVP.
I mean, if the Broncos win 100%, it'll just be Peyton Manning, just
Yeah.
because it will be. If the Seahawks win, I would assume it would be Lynch. I just think that if they win, he would be the reason why.
I could see it being Richard Sherman or Percy Harvin.
Richard Sherman's
you
going to do
Goodell-
nothing, and he's just going to win the MVP.
Goodell will just like sit. Well, Goodell's actually supposedly sitting outside to show that the elements can't slow him down. But
he's
I
tough.
hope he doesn't get that Tom Coughlin face from the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl
Oh, yeah.
years back. But it looked like plastic, melted That was disgusting. I really hope Roger Goodell doesn't get that. He's going to get a lot of FaceTime.
But if he's outside, I don't know how he would make a phone call. Maybe on his cell phone or something. But if Richard Sherman has like a pick and the Seahawks are going to win, he's going to call down and be like, "Do not give him Super Bowl MVP. Do not make that happen." He just doesn't. He probably just doesn't want that. Part of me on the inside though thinks that he probably really likes Richard Sherman because it gets people talking about the league, obviously, and it's exciting. So part of me kind of thinks that Goodell would kind of think of the NFL as like the WWE and would say that he wants polarizing personalities like that.
It is interesting with Richard Sherman. He's taking all the attention, well, not all of it, but a lot of the attention away from a Russell Wilson or a Marshawn Lynch, who, if Richard Sherman hadn't had his little antics at the end of the game, they would be getting more attention. They'd have more pressure on them. It's almost as if he's doing this, it's actually helping Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch with the pressure of playing in a Super Bowl. So it'd be interesting to see how that turns out.
So, yeah, 28-27, Seahawks. Percy Harvin is going to win the MVP. He's going to have a lot of receiving yards. Maybe not a lot of receiving yards. A lot of rushing yards off those jet sweeps.
He has to stay in the game, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
he will. He will.
And I don't know if he feels like a concussion.
He's going to have a lot of total yards, including that kickoff return for a touchdown, which will prove to be a game changer and
Yeah, that might be.
propel him to that 1-point victory and a thrilling Super Bowl.
I'll be texting you on Sunday if he scores, though, for sure.
Oh, if Seattle gets blown out or Percy Harvin gets hurt in the first play of the game, you all can ridicule me, please.
So one more thing that I wanted to talk about, since we have time before I have to go to class, I just wanted to talk about some coaching moves. Since we have the two resident expert Ravens
That's right.
insiders.
Well, I don't know. I'm more of a hater, apparently, because I just call it like I see it, and I'm just being pessimistic the whole time.
Who said you were a hater?
The Twitterverse.
Oh,
Twitterverse.
oh, Twitter beefs.
Yep. Just a lot of people. I'm just a big Ravens hater, even though I love the team, just because I was like, oh, this has happened all season. We're no way we win the game, and what do we lose the game? But I'm a hater because I said we're gonna lose the game.
That's exactly how it went every Sunday.
So what do you guys think of the coaching moves that the Ravens made yesterday?
Fantastic, fantastic hirings.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not as excited. I think they're good, but I want to see how they turn out. Kubiak's good, but like I was telling Jesse before, it'll be interesting to see if this doesn't work out. Harbaugh, maybe his future a year or two away, maybe they think about making Kubiak head coach. It could add pressure to Harbaugh. It might create some tension. Also,
I think because of the Super Bowl, though, Harbaugh's
Harbaugh's safe.
I think
he's
he's
safe for a while.
He's probably bought himself like 3 or 4 years.
Mhm. And then the QB coach, I don't remember his name, Jim Dennison. It'd be interesting to see how he gels with Flacco. They brought him with Kubiak, which is great that they've worked together, but it's really how he works with Flacco. So that'll be something to look at because Flacco's really the key to our success. If he doesn't do well, we're not going to do well. So I'm happy. I like it, but I'm not as excited as Mr. Clapper over here.
I think it'll work out really well, especially if we can keep Jacoby Jones, honestly.
Yes.
And I think this will help, I think, keep Vonta Leach and Jacoby Jones, and actually us use Vonta Leach.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
Gary Kubiak has experience with them. Both of them are one of the reasons why John Harbaugh hired Kubiak. And also, not Jacoby Jones, can we just say it was literally our best receiver the last month of the season?
Yeah, that's
Torrey
pretty fair to
Smith was
say.
catching just long balls, wasn't really getting free at all. Marlon Brown was getting some touchdowns here and there, but Jacoby Jones was getting the workload throughout the field. And I think we need to bring him back. Also, his presence on special teams is unquestionable.
Well, yeah, his special teams abilities is. I mean, he's one of the best returners in the league, if not the best. So he can really change a game with it.
So them bringing Kubiak in, I think, really helps the Ravens keep Jacoby Jones and maybe Vonta Leach.
And last thing I just want to complain about, since this is the only platform I have to really
gosh.
talk about the Browns. What? I mean, I don't mind.
Your head coach hasn't even finalized the contract yet.
I know.
Who is that guy? I don't even know.
Okay. I'm not as upset. If we had gotten, I don't know. I mean, he just seems like he's competent at least. Like, the thing that I really don't understand is why we brought over the Bills linebackers coach as our defensive coordinator. Like, since when were the Bills like a really good team? And we were just like, well, we should probably adopt the Bills' thought process.
Hey,
like,
fun fact about him, Towson grad.
oh,
Did you know? Yeah, breaking the
Game
news.
changer.
Breaking the news.
Game changer.
I
Terrence West.
saw that earlier. Also, Mike
I didn't know
Raymond
that.
off camera was saying he was a Towson grad, but
Oh,
sorry,
he
general
was
manager.
I think he was the defensive coordinator at Towson a while ago. But yeah, Towson grad. So we got Joe Vitt and O'Brien is his last name. I don't remember his first name,
Bill?
but.
No,
Bill O'Brien's head coach
Sorry.
of Houston Texans.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got some Towson grads in the NFL. Hey, Terrence will be on his way, but
to
yeah.
Cleveland.
So it's really exciting for us. I'm not sure how exciting it is for Cleveland Brown fans, but whatever.
I didn't know that though. That is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know what they're doing. I think I might just fully transfer over to the Lions, If we don't draft Johnny Manziel with the
So
first
you
round,
go from the worst city, or the second worst city in America, to the worst city in America.
well, yeah, but football. I mean, it's Detroit. What are you gonna do?
You could be in Pittsburgh. I mean,
Oh,
Pittsburgh's pretty bad too.
Yeah.
if anyone ever sees me wearing Steelers gear, I'm probably just not fit to be in public view anymore.
Yep.
I hate the Steelers.
I'd throw you out of that window right there.
So I just don't know what they're doing. But
Yeah, I don't really know what to say to you.
you know,
I'm sorry.
at least
Not
the
really.
At least the Wizards are a 500 basketball team. I have that to look forward to.
But they have the curse of 500. We'll never get over 500.
One day
They'll
we'll
play
win
the
a
bottom
game.
teams in the league and lose to the Boston Celtics, who are without their two best players, one being Rajon Rondo. And John Wall will get like a triple-double.
They play the Warriors tonight. Should be a good game.
They're gonna get killed.
Probably. But it's always fun to watch the Warriors.
They're like
The
two,
Warriors
they're
are
like
really fun to watch.
2 and something against teams above 500. So
Well, my sports life kind of stinks. Much like my love life. Hey!
Towson's most eligible.
Hey!
Elgable coming up soon.
So I think that's all we really have for today. I gotta go to class. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Hope we're recording this on a Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have it up by Wednesday night, Thursday, somewhere around there. So obviously you can tune in next week. We're gonna keep recording these on Tuesdays in the Towerlight office. As usual, if you guys have anything you want to hear / see now, you can email me, editor@towerlight.com. Coming up on our next couple issues, like Jesse said, we have Towson's Most Eligible. So if anybody wants to go on there and sign up,
He's gonna be on it.
yeah.
Am I?
If you're
I
trying to-
am.
Ladies,
I'm eligible. Okay.
If anybody's trying to find a date for Valentine's Day, that's usually a good way to go about it.
they have a heart-shaped donut at Dunkin' Donuts. So
ladies. I also have a story coming out on Monday about the athletics budget in the wake of our trip to the playoffs and things like that. NCAA doesn't treat FCS schools very well when they have success, so it's going to kind of be a story about that and just the state of the athletics budget in general. If you're anything but a freshman, I'm sure you're well aware of what happened with sports in the budget last year, so I have that coming out on Monday. We have a story coming out on Thursday about internships and how businesses are kind of changing the way they run that. So a lot to look forward to up here in the next couple issues of the Towerlight as we get off to a strong start on the semester.
and on the basketball front, their game Wednesday night. I'm not sure when this is coming out, but Wednesday night's game against UNC Wilmington was postponed because they're supposed to get a really bad snowstorm in North Carolina. So they rescheduled that today, February 10th. It's a Monday at UNC Wilmington, 7 p.m.
All right, well, that's all we have for this week, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next week.
Percy Harvin.